Adolf Hitler, a mind-twisted dictator who achieved anything but rights, whereas Martin Luther King, a thoughtful, charismatic leader who strived towards every inch of human rights. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Reem Khaled, and I'll be your opposition leader for today. Throughout the speech, I will state exactly why human rights laws are not incompatible with majoritarian democratic values, as well as I will be stating two points, in which the first one will be how majoritarian democracy is the most suitable, fair, and rational form of government as to satisfying human rights, and the second point, how in Canada and UK, parliaments have become more diverse due to satisfying the democratic values and reaching a greater audience. To start off with my very first point regarding the justice and fairness of the majoritarian democratic values. Let me ask you a question. Can you name another form of government that takes into consideration what people want with respect to their human rights? Do dictatorships? No, thank you. Do dictatorships? Do oligarchies? Do monarchies? Federal republics? Anything at all? The list goes on and on with different forms of government that do not satisfy human rights. The only form of government that actually looks towards human rights, looks at them, analyzes them, and actually wants people to be satisfied are majoritarian democracies. Because it allows people to express themselves. Not only are they fair, but majoritarian democracies are ranked top regarding human rights. Now, let me give you an example regarding a dictatorship, a country that uses the dictatorship form of government, and throughout you will see why majoritarian democracies are actually the best. Example, in Myanmar in 2008, there was a massive human rights abuse when a cyclone swept over the country, killing thousands of thousands and leaving millions scattered without food or shelter or protection or care or anything at all. The country's military dictatorship blocked humanitarian aid from reaching the people until it could hold a sham election. There is no personal freedom. They are not taking care of the people. Where are the basic human rights in this dictatorship? Another example, Kim Jong-il, the ruler of North Korea. North Korea has been ranked at the bottom of the list of the Freedom House ranking for rights and civil liberties. The US Committee for Human Rights estimates that there are approximately 150,000 Koreans who are being forced into prison camps for political dissenters and their families. Once again, 150,000 are forced. They are not given rights. They are not forced. Once again, because this is a dictatorship. However, no, thank you. However, in majoritarian democracies, it represents the complete opposite. For instance, in Norway was ranked the 5th country regarding human rights. It looks at people, it identifies them, it appreciates them, it wants to achieve the best for them. Another example is that Canada, the 3rd most country that has human rights, and it is also a majoritarian democracy. As you can see, majoritarian democracies fulfill those basic democratic values. They strive to achieve the human rights that are not given through different forms of government. Fairness leads to my very next point, which is diverse parliaments. Canada and UK have been trying their best to increase the diversity in their parliaments. In 2015, Canada's parliament was more diverse than ever. 88 of the 338 new MPs were women, as regard to the previous year, which were only 12. As you can see, it was 12 in the previous year. However, this year, it increased to 88 women. Once again, Muslims were elected, because Muslims were elected. But the real question here is, why have they actually increased this diversity? They increased this diversity because they looked at humans. They said that we want to achieve these democratic values, and in order to do so, we need to start making our parliaments much more diverse, much more appreciative of different cultures, values, and people and religions. By increasing the diversity in the parliament, people will be able to find their voice more easily. People will be able to speak freely. People will be able to obtain their full human rights. Another example, in the United Kingdom, in 2016, women now, currently this year, make up 29% of MPs, which in 2010 they were only 22%. As you can see, there's an increase in women. Not only that, but non-white MPs now make up more than 6% of the new parliament, which was 4% in 2010. That's a 56% increase in non-white people, because they were, once again, they increased this diversity because they were accused of racism. They were accused of not fulfilling those democratic values. Hence, the parliament did everything in its will to achieve those democratic values in order to achieve humanitarian laws. As you can see once again, you can see that this form of those two forms of parliament actually do achieve democratic values and they do achieve human rights. And my final point is that there are many laws in the UK that protect those ethnic people in order for them to maintain that freedom and feeling of not being prejudiced. For example, there was a law in 2010, which was the Equality Act, that outlaws discrimination in access to education, public services, private goods and employment. Another law, Protection from Harassment Act 1997, which this allows people to harass minorities. And the final act is the Equality Act of 2006, which established the Equality and Human Rights Commission, a body designed to strengthen enforcement of equality laws. Once again, referring back to the motion, they looked at the bigger picture. They wanted to satisfy those democratic values in order for people to feel free, in order for people to feel that their basic human rights are being achieved. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to conclude my speech by summarizing the fact that I discussed 2 points. The first point as to why majoritarian democratic values, the government is the most fair form of government, and the fact that it fulfills those basic democratic values. And the second point, which was that bigger countries like the UK and Canada actually diverse their parliament in order, once again, to achieve this fair treatment. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.